Well, welcome into KSU Nation, the best K-State and Big 12 podcast out there. I'm Stevie B. In today's video, we're going to talk about how BYU beat K-State 80-65 Saturday, February 15th, out in Provo. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, tell your friends, consider joining the channel as well. If you guys watch a pre-video, both Kenny and I picked K-State to win this game. K-State had won 6 games in a row. BYU had other plans. They came out, dominated the game from start to finish. This will be a pretty quick live stream video discussing my thoughts from a K-State point of view. We have a lot of BYU fans that watch our channel as well, but we are K-State fans. I'm a 2-time K-State grad. Of course, I watched this game. In fact, I watched most of the game. I'll be honest, I got pretty frustrated and upset. I had to turn it off at certain portions, which has been kind of a theme this year because K-State has really not played up to its potential for the entirety of the season under Jerome Tang. I don't know, man. It's frustrating for sure. Let's go ahead and get right into the stats. So, K-State only had 2 guys in double figures. You're not going to win many games when you only have 2 guys in double figures and when you only shoot what? I mean, it doesn't have the field goal percentage. I guess I can click on team stats, but I want to say K-State was in the 30s. Doesn't even have that on there. Okay, well, thank you very much, ESPN. I want to say K-State shot like 37% for the game. K-State made 6 threes. Coleman Hawkins played arguably his worst game as Wildcat. Honestly, the back-to-back 2 worst games of his career. 6 points against Arizona. Somehow K-State still won. 6 points at BYU. This was a game both teams really needed to win. BYU was in the last 4 in, according to a lot of bracketologists. And K-State was in that, the first 4 out or the next 4 out. I saw a lot of people had K-State as like number 75 overall. So like that 7th team out of the tournament. Considering K-State was 7-11, they knew they had a lot of work to do, and there's still a lot of work to do. In fact, I think K-State either needs to go 6-0 or 5-1 and then win some more in a Big 12 tournament to get back into the dance. But you know what? BYU showed up 40 points both quarters. Let's look at their stats here. 17 points from Richie Saunders, which honestly, I don't even feel like he played that well. 9 points from Kiba Kita. Okay, I want to say something. Traore and Kita combined for 20 points. How many rebounds? 15 rebounds. They were the difference in the game for BYU. They really were. K-State could do nothing. I mean, David Kassan, K-State's leading scorer, how many points did he have? 6. K-State's other forward, 6. 12 combined points and 14 rebounds. They gave up way too many offensive rebounds. How many did they have? 5, 8, 10, 12, 13 offensive rebounds. That's too many. That's too many. Like I said, they're big guys. Traore and Kita dominated the paint. They made every shot difficult. Did they get some calls, or did they get it like where basically K-State wasn't getting calls? Sure, that's going to happen in the Big 12. I mean, it's not going to be 15 points though, right? Like K-State had a hard time finishing plays. Max Jones couldn't finish any layups. David Gasson and Coleman Hawkins looked scared down low. I don't know if I've ever seen 2 guys for the same team that tall, that muscular, and that athletic that can make every single layup that they tried. And then when they didn't, they got fouled. And what they shoot? 1 of 2 and 5 of 6. I mean, they shot 6 of 8. That's pretty good. I mean, you're going to take that every time from your centers. And I knew that they had some good big guys down low. I just thought with the way K-State had been playing for 6 games, for the most part, they could do some stuff. But I mean, Richie Saunders had 14 rebounds too. I mean, my goodness, dude. When you have 2 guys combined for 25 rebounds, I'm not sure how many rebounds K-State had. It couldn't have been, close to that. I bet those 2 guys combined had more than K-State had the entire game. I mean, shoot. It's really frustrating. Doug McDaniel is the only guy that's really done anything for K-State the last 2 games, and he scored 22. He's getting no help. He's getting no help from anyone else. I mean, Brendan Hausen, sure, he made 3 threes, right? But I mean, he can't be just shooting threes. We need guys getting paint touches, getting rebounds. It's frustrating, man. It's a really frustrating game that K-State really needed to win. I personally thought if K-State went 2-0 this weekend in Utah, they had Saturday at BYU, Monday at Utah, which now becomes an enormous game. If K-State went 2-0, I think there was a very, very, very realistic shot of K-State making a tournament. If they go 1-1, there's still a chance. If K-State goes 0-2 at BYU and then at Utah, I don't see any way K-State makes a tournament at that point. There's just too many games left that are losable, too much work to do if they go 0-2 this weekend and Monday at Utah. Which, by the way, Utah just beat KU. That's a whole other thing. I don't want to talk about the Utah Utes. This is K-State BYU, but man, it's looking tougher and tougher by the day, and it's really frustrating that we're in year 3 and K-State's getting beat by double digits. We're starting 7-11. We can't keep guys on the roster. We can't rebound. It doesn't look like K-State runs on offense. It looks like we're just running the same one-on-one plays. And when, Coleman Hawkins is scoring 6 points back-to-back games, you're not going to win a ton of games. And he's complaining too much to the refs, which I feel like is honestly hurting him, making sure he doesn't get calls. I feel like K-State was better when he wasn't on the court. CJ Jones was a decent piece off the bench, 9 points. Moby, 4 points. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm pretty frustrated. 35 minutes and you score 6 points, and K-State paid you $2 million. Dude, that is bad, man. That is bad. That is really, really, really bad. I mean, BYU, after K-State cut it to, I think, 11-10, they went on a 15-2 run. It really never looked back. Like in the second half, K-State cut it to 8, but really, were they ever in the game? No. And I do want to give a shout out to BYU because I think this was their first sellout of the season, which is kind of shocking considering their fan base and the fact that, they're 17-8. That's a pretty good record. They had a pretty good week winning at, West Virginia and then at home against K-State as well. It's pretty shocking, though, that they haven't had a sellout before K-State. They played Baylor at home. They played Arizona at home, which is a top 10 team. But I know it's a huge arena. I think 19,000 people at the Marriott Center. K-State is 1-3 combined in football and basketball against BYU since BYU joined the Big 12. 1 win at home. All 3 losses are at BYU for both football and basketball. What they average 17,000. Yeah, it holds 19,000 though. That BYU game day environment is very impressive. Well done. Yeah, I agree. They have the biggest football stadium, the biggest basketball stadium. Their alumni is huge. The fan base is huge. They honestly just look like more of a team than K-State. And they look like a very well-coached team. They have a guy from the NBA. And he's the reason why I feel like a lot of their offense looks so good. They have shooters everywhere outside of their big guys down low, which, again, I felt like dominated the paint for the entirety of the game. Everyone else is a shooter, right? And what happens when you are good shooters? You're going to pump fake. They're going to jump up in the air. You go right past them for a layup. The big guy's going to close you off so you can't get there. I don't know how many free runs they had at the goal, but it was a lot, man. They had way too many layups, way too many points in the paint. And they only shot, I think it was 25% from 3. They made, 3, 4, 5? They made 6 threes. So the same amount as K-State. But, if you would have told me Richie Saunders would go 5 of 13, 2 of 6 from 3, I probably would have taken that. But 80 points, that's too much, man. That's too much. I feel like Jerome Tang could have used his timeouts a little bit better in the first half. I think he trusted his guys a little too much. It's a tough environment. Playing out in the mountains at nighttime, I get it. But, they have a better bench than K-State. They had 2 guys get double figures off the bench. 16 for Dalen Hall and 11 for Traore, which, again, I talked about earlier. He was a big piece, him and Keita dominating down low. K-State had 2 total get double digits. And I don't know, man. I don't know. K-State really needs a win on Monday. Let's take a look at the net rankings that changed for both teams. This was a quad 1 game for K-State, 1 of 75 away. This was a quad 2 game for BYU, 31-75 at home. Let's take a look here. I did pull this up. BYU jumped up from 39 to 36 in the net rankings. They have 2 quad one wins. I think no, yeah, they only have 2 quad one wins. That's probably why they're in the last 4, and because K-State actually has more than that. 2 quad one wins, 5 quad 2, but they are 10-0 against quad 3 and quad 4. And K-State, that's where they're lacking. Let's take a look here. K-State got all the way up to 68. They're back to 73. They have 2 losses against quad 3. Not good. They do have 4 wins, against quad 1. But I mean, 12 losses. I mean, it's only February 16th. That's not good, dude. That's not good. In fact, one of those was a 30-point home loss to Houston. I mean, you lose by 15 at BYU. You lose games at Liberty. You lose a double-digit home game to freaking LSU. You lose a game at TCU by 1 when you are up by 6 with 3.5 to go. You score 0 points down the stretch. You lose by 4 at home to Texas Tech when you score 4 points in the last 10 minutes, 0 in the last 6 minutes. I mean, the opportunities were there for K-State to win games. I mean, they lost at the buzzer to Drake, who made basically a March Madness shot to win that game in Kansas City. I mean, those 3 games, TCU, Texas Tech, Drake, which, by the way, K-State had the ball at the end of regulation, tied against Drake in Kansas City, doesn't really even get a shot off, and then loses in overtime at the buzzer. You win those 3 games, I mean, you're what, 16-9? You're looking way, way, way different. Even with those terrible losses, there was a 19-point loss to Wichita State. I mean, you win those 3 games, I think you're probably in the 50s or 40s for net rankings. You're probably, on the bubble, on the right side of the bubble to get in. And, when you're losing like that to WSU and LSU and at BYU, I mean, it's not a good look, man. And that's why K-State is where they're at right now. And that's why K-State fans are really frustrated and upset with Jerome Tang. I know he went to the Elite Eight year 1, didn't go to the tournament last year, probably would have if Naquan Tomlin didn't get arrested and then get kicked off the team. Or dismissed, I should say, is a better terminology to use. But let's call it how it is, right? K-State probably gets in with him. But, I mean, that's on the coaches to find the right guys to do the right things, right? And to learn from those mistakes and to get guys in that are bought in and don't take until freaking, the end of January to come together, right? Like, that's on the coaches. And K-State fans are not happy right now. I'm not happy right now. I'm frustrated, very, very, very frustrated. This is a winnable game for K-State. I mean, it felt like every game on a schedule was pretty winnable. And after you lose a game, it feels like K-State could lose every game the rest of the season. Let's take a look at K-State's schedule the rest of the way. I said it a little bit earlier. I felt like K-State needed to go 2-0 to really feel like they're on the right side of the bubble. If they go 1-1, which there's a game on Monday at Utah, which, like I said, they just beat KU yesterday. At Monday at Utah, 8 o'clock. Then you have Arizona State at home, winnable. At UCF, very winnable. At home against Colorado, very, very, very winnable. Cincinnati and Iowa State, you have to go. If K-State beats Utah, K-State has to. Honestly, K-State needs to win these next 4 games. K-State wins the next 4 games and then goes 1-1 at these 2 because Cincinnati's playing pretty good basketball right now. Iowa State's a top 10 team. It's at home, but they're a top 10 team. They're considered a 2-seed or a 3-seed right now. K-State needs to go 1-1 and then go 4-0 against the rest of these. It's just, I don't know, man. Even UCF, I mean, I said it's very winnable, but UCF they've been tricky. I mean, I think they beat KU at home last year. They've been putting up a fight. I think they almost beat BYU at home. I mean, they're not like the easiest out. And honestly, I feel like the NIL has really changed the game for college athletics, college basketball. It's really raised the floor. It's even the playing field. Everyone, can pay everyone. So, I mean, you're going to go, we're going to get paid the most. In K-State's got one of the highest paid rosters. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, it does not really work for K-State. But a lot of these other teams are getting really good players because they can pay them, and other people won't. And that's why we're seeing, KU. I mean, everyone jokes about how KU used to pay players, and that's why they were so good. But now that everyone can pay players, they're not as good. I've heard that joke Who knows if it's true or not, but certainly feels like the NIL has really changed the game for the better for the college athletes and for the teams. Like I said, it's really raised the floor. I mean, you used to be able to beat some of these really bad teams like 40, 50, 60 points. And even these, mid-major teams are really putting up a fight now with smaller NIL deals. But it's definitely changed the landscape of college basketball. It's even the playing field. Teams like, K-State, BYU are competing at the same level as KU, right? And that's what you want to see, right? So, because that's what happens in the NFL, NBA, and all that. Everyone's paying people, so that way, it really evens the playing field for everyone. So, shout out to BYU for winning the game. I really thought K-State would win. Both Kenny and I did. I'm gonna have to make an apology video to BYU fans because it feels like every one of those always really pops off. But shout out to them for winning. Shout out to their big guys for dominating K-State's bigs. David Gasson, horrible. Coleman Hawkins, the worst game of his career against BYU's two bigs, and they really dominated the game. And Richie Saunders, 14 rebounds. I think him and Keita combined for more rebounds than K-State had total. That's today's video. That's my thoughts on K-State at BYU. Hopefully K-State can get it turned around. Feels like BYU was on the right side of the bubble heading down the stretch. Let's take a look at their schedule, actually, because I feel kind of bad. I did not pull that up. Let me pull it up really quickly. We'll see who they have left. And, I think they're 8-6 in the Big 12. K-State is now 7-7. Let's take a look here. And we can pick their schedule. They're 17-8 overall, 8-6, 5th in the Big 12. I think they actually have some hard games left. Oh, who do they have left? Tuesday against KU. I will definitely be rooting for the Cougars to win that game because obviously I'm a K-State grad, K-State fan. I want KU to lose every single game, and I will definitely be rooting for the BYU Cougars to beat KU. Then they go to at Arizona, which, I think the bracket was released and they were like a 3 or 4 seed, and they went 0-2 last week, right? So it really shows that anyone can win any game, and one of those losses was to K-State. I think they go 1-1 in those two games. I think they win at home, lose at Arizona. I think they win at Arizona State. I think they win at home against West Virginia. I do think they're going to lose at Iowa State, and then I think they win at home against Utah. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4 wins. So they're going to get the 12-8 in the Big 12 and 21 overall before they go to Kansas City. So that is my thoughts on K-State, BYU. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about today's video. Let me know what you guys think about Kenny not being here. He couldn't make it today for the KSU Nation podcast. Thanks everyone for watching. There's just one last thing to say. Let's go Big 12 and go Cats, baby. Damn,